What else is in store today?
The main thing is it's going to stay cloudy. And I think you're going to see less and less rain as you work your way through the day. But yeah, yesterday you didn't receive as much rain as you might have thought. It was moderate to heavy at times, but all in all, it was only about a half inch on average across the Charlotte area, even a little bit of less, and the highest total I saw was just shy of an inch. So it was anywhere from about a quarter to an inch of rain across the board. Really not too bad, and as of right now, we're just seeing that on and off rain that we're going to consistently see. And the biggest deal that we have actually in the near term is this rain is going to take a big step back. So what you're looking at right now is our future cast, what it's going to look like right around noon. And the reason why we're even getting rid of this rain is because Imelda is saying a goodbye. So as Imelda is saying bye-bye, we are expecting that moisture source to get pulled away, and then that's going to erode a lot of the rain. So as we roll tape here, you can expect on and off shower during the afternoon. Here's 4 o'clock. I think more so it's going to stay dry. And also I think that we're going to start to erode a lot of that cloud cover as well. Now, I still think that overcast sky expect that, but then there might be a little bit of brighter hope going forward. And then by tomorrow morning, I think we're dealing with some patchy, dense fog from place to place, some lingering clouds for that cloud cover eventually is going to wind down. I want to show you 3 different camera examples and their temperatures. Right now it's 66 degrees over Monroe. We have 66 also over Charlotte. If you look at it, it's a cloudy sky, but I've been calling it really almost a brighter cloudy day. So at times I think you're going to have more of the white clouds compared to those really darker ones that we're going to see. Still, sometimes it might feel like it's going to rain from place to place, and some spots might even see a little bit of Carolina blues starting to pop up as well. 58 degrees, a little bit on the foggier side, right around the Boone area going forward. And then heading into tomorrow, we can expect some cooler lows and even cooler beyond that. So our current temperature right now is 66 degrees. Our low for this morning, I believe, is 64, 65 across Mecklenburg County, and then 63 tomorrow. But then after that, lower to the mid-50s. And am I allowed to say the F word here on the stream?
What is that?
We have a chance for frost.
Yeah, frost, yes.
Yeah, okay, just want to make sure. Yeah, okay.
Yep,
All of a sudden they're like,
Fudge.
Fudge, yeah. No, so on Friday morning, now this is for the Charlotte area, we are not looking at frost, but up on top of, say, Mount Mitchell and Grandfather Mountain, temperatures are likely dropping down into the mid-30s, and if the winds stay calm enough, there's a chance for our first frost of the season up there. Now, it's going to be very close, not a guarantee, but just letting you know that we are starting to hit the time of the season that things are starting to get a little bit cooler, a little bit crisper. And here's an example what it's like right around Sugar Mountain area for our lows. You can expect really the 40-degree point possible on Friday morning. So Sugar Mountain's about a mile up roughly, close to about 5,200 feet. Beach Mountain, I think, is 5,500. Mount Mitchell is much higher, around 6,000. So you can expect a little bit closer to that freezing point. So that's the reason why there is a slight chance of frost there. But hey, I thought I would mention it. It's also heading into October, one of our really cool times of year that we start to see the change over to our fall foliage. And we saw a slight change around Boone as we were up there just for the anniversary of Helene. But they've had this campaign for over 6 months now, Bounce Back. NC High Country, we're open. And it's this year more than ever. And the one thing we really learned this past week is that October is one of their biggest cash cows. So I highly recommend, if you haven't been up in a while, certainly we weren't able to go up last year, go take a ride on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Go spend the day in Blowing Rock, just because even you going out to eat with the family is a big difference maker there. So this photo is actually from Leslie Restivo on Sunday, and you can actually see a pretty visible changeover in general. And our forecast for today, if you are going up to the mountains, it's going to be a little bit chillier side, high temperatures in the lower 60s. Not a lot of sunshine to go around, but things get a little bit better after that. But the most recent update is that we're now at a high color around Grandfather Mountain. We're around a moderate changeover around Beach Mountain and Sugar Mountain, and roughly around the Rough Ridge Trail and the Lynn Cove Viaduct, if you know those places, if you've ever stopped along the Blue Ridge Parkway. And then Banner Elk Boone, where we mentioned, I think it's about a 15 to 20% changeover, so nothing really super high at this point. But this photo is actually from yesterday. I'll pop up. This is directly on top of Grandfather Mountain. seeing a really visible change over there. So this is what a high color looks like. Not completely changed, not at its absolute peak, but it's actually typically within the next 7 days that we have our peak on top of Grandfather Mountain. And then I have that same graphic that I was just showing you, but this shows kind of the general or average date that we hit our peak per elevation. So around the Lynn Cove Viaduct, that's about 4,200 to 4,700 feet up. That's where we hit the peak around October 12th. Now, the Bannerel, the Boone, Blowing Rock area, a good portion of the Blue Ridge Parkway as you're driving through Watauga County, anywhere from that 3,000 to 4,000 foot range. That's about by week 2 to 3 of October. So anywhere from about the 17th to the 21st, and then the further you go down around Chimney Rock usually hits their peak around the 24th to the 31st around Halloween for Asheville, and then it's below that for the Hickory area. Morganton you usually see for the first week of November, and that's where we also start to hit our peak around the Charlotte area as well. So I just wanted to dedicate some time talking about leaf peeping because we are hitting the time of year that I highly recommend that you start planning for some of these events because it's flying by, y'all. I'm working this weekend, so I can't do a lot. But if you think about it, it'll be Halloween before you know it. You have pumpkin picking, you have apple picking if you like to do that, leaf peeping possible, and also the Renaissance Festival. Now, the Renaissance Festival luckily goes until about Thanksgiving, so you have time for this. But it's a near perfect weekend for it. Oftentimes, for the first opening weekend, it can be super hot and sizzling. Instead, we're going to be around 80 degrees and direct sunshine. Of course, it can be a little bit more. We do see a rain chance arrive on Sunday, but it's a pretty decent opening weekend, especially since we are heading into a nice little drying trend overall. So I like in general where things are going. So a closer look at our 7-day forecast. We have a high temperature around 80 degrees tomorrow, a nice little rebound. We will see temperatures settle down with lows in the 50s, highs in the mid to the upper 70s heading into the weekend. And boy, do we have a big weekend. We're talking about the Roval 400, a Panthers home game, every festival you can think of. What was it, Kids Fest that you interviewed yesterday on Saturday? But Sunday, you have everything going on. So, yeah, plan whatever you want to do outside. Don't miss out on this. Great weather. Even that 20% chance for rain, I don't think that's going to ruin anything, ruin a game. Of course, more problematic if it does have a quick burst of rain for NASCAR where there could be a delay there. But in general, it is looking like a much drier forecast in general. I think better chances heading into early next week overall. Outside of that, that's pretty much wrapping up the forecast of the bow. I will give one more update just on Imelda in general. Okay. So Imelda officially is no longer Tropical Storm Imelda. It is actually Hurricane Imelda. That was per the 8 a.m. advisory. Winds right now at about 75 miles per hour and will continue to grow so. And then you can see just in general the size of the system is starting to become a lot more organized. This will likely start to challenge major hurricane status, and this is not just a fish storm because Imelda already has a history. There was one death that was officially reported in Cuba from Imelda just as a wave. That was actually pre-Imelda. And then we're also looking at a potential direct impact with Bermuda. And that's going to be happening over the next few days. And this system is going to be flying overall. So it's something that they want to watch. The National Hurricane Center is already starting to look into it. Here's what the path in general is looking like. Hurricane Imelda is likely going to continue to grow into a stronger Category 1 over the next day or so. By tomorrow afternoon, it's starting to near Category 2 strength. And when it passes St. George and Bermuda, that looks to be late on Wednesday into Thursday. So that's tomorrow. It's going to be flying. Luckily, it's going to be a quick-moving system. That's going to limit the amount of rain. Bermuda is also a smaller island. That does help out. But it's going to be around 100-mile-per-hour winds. I think if it does become a major hurricane, it'll happen at some point from around sunrise to sunset on Wednesday. So there's still a lot of question marks there. But I think it's most interesting about this longer range forecast is what happens afterwards, because we're actually looking at Umberto to die out and Imelda to potentially just kind of combine into this system in general, which is a very rare setup just to see. So let me see. Let's show you this. Here's the dual storms. What you're actually going to see for the nearest change is Umberto officially is no longer a major hurricane. It's Category 2. But watch. You're going to see the path end a little bit early. And that's going to be in general on Thursday. And if you compare the times, you have 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the two to align there. And what you're actually looking at is the potential for these two to combine. I was mentioning the Fujiwara effect. Well, that very much is a good possibility that's going to be happening over the coming days. And that's the main reason why we're starting to see this system churn out. But as a quick refresher, just for a quick explainer, Fujiwara is brought to us by Dr. Fujiwara in the early 1920s. Two major lows will circulate around a center point, and one of three things happen. Either they are equally just rotating around one point, or one becomes stronger, the other one becomes weaker, or they mesh into one system. And that is actually looking to be the possibility. Where check this out. The one to the upper right is Umberto. The one to the near the Florida coast, that's Imelda. But watch what happens. You can literally see the rotation. It's caught an insane wind field. But once Imelda passes Bermuda, it looks like it starts to get caught up because Umberto weakens to a post-tropical low and it becomes one major system. This is not an effect to anything. This is actually just a really cool dose of rare meteorology that you don't see all the time. So we can thank Umberto, even though it is going to be fading out. The main reason what's dragging this out, just really hopeful that there aren't any major impacts to Bermuda, but that definitely looks to be the worst hit area from Imelda. So we'll see how everything does pan out with this because it does look like it could be a direct landfall.
So thankful that is not affecting us.
No,
this
seriously.
week. I mean, we are just lucky.
It could be a completely different forecast. Instead, I'm talking about leaves and wren fests.
Exactly.
And something to look forward to. Yeah, and especially
Amazing.
this close after Helene's anniversary, I'm glad that we're taking a break.
Yeah.
I names are historic for just notoriously bad things. So I'm happy the way things are at least trending in the near term.
No Jerry in the near term.
We have no Jerry alerts over the next 7 days
Love
for
it.
at least now.
Right.
Good to hear.
No Jerry's.
All right, we got Roval and Panthers game to think about, you know?
Roval and Panther.
I know. Are any of you two going to either one of them?
I might go to the Roval.
Roval?
I might go to the Ren Fest. Although I
you do open weekend at the
feel
Ren Fest?
I feel like it's sold out.
Probably.
I know we have the Ren Fest folks coming in sometime this week into the Live Impact studio.
Exciting.
Ooh, I love the Ren
Hearing,
Fest.
I do too.
Oh man, and also like I tell people this all the time. If you have never gone to Ren Fest, you have to get there early. That
Yes.
parking lot is
Oh,
huge.
really?
But
Yeah.
it loads in there. Let me
It's
tell you what,
amazing.
Okay.
It's huge, but you'll park way
Way
back
far?
there if you go mid-afternoon. Yeah,
Oh.
you want to.
Yeah. If you're all the way back, and that's also the problem is like if you're buying VIP tickets
Yes.
for like parking, if you're not there like right when the gates open, you're gonna get
You're back
bumped.
in the slums. You're back with everybody else.
Yeah.
If you pay
Okay.
for VIP and you don't get there early enough to,
Then you just paid for
then
VIP
you
for
just pay-
nothing?
essentially, yes.
No, would you say like a 10-minute walk if you were in the back of the
Yeah,
parking
oh,
lot?
yeah.
Like it's
Okay.
deep.
So
You get your steps in.
You get your steps in. You get your steps.
I don't want to get my steps in because you're already doing a lot of walking
If I pay
around
for
in general.
VIP, I want VIP. But
Right.
if you're not there early enough, you're back there.
Okay.
You're back.
But then that line before the gates even open, that's going to be kind of packed.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better. I know that we've done stories on over the years where it was like one way in, one way out. Now they've
Yes.
expanded,
Oh,
so it's
okay.
a lot less of a headache. It's a bit easier to get in there.
Might do that.
The only times I've gone the last weekend of the festival.
Ooh, that's got to be crowded.
Both times I've gone. You'd think it'd be crowded. It really wasn't terrible getting in and getting out.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest that. It's usually the November dates that are a little bit better.
Right.
Yeah, just because a lot of times, well, it depends. It's kind of like October, I think it's the busiest.
Sure, because
Yeah.
they also have themed weekends too. So like you have like a pirate weekend and you have like
Yeah.
a
Time travelers.
time
and then
traveling weekend.
It's so weird.
Fun.
I don't plan on this. We're 4 for 4 just picking a random weekend and it's Time Travelers weekend.
Really?
Yeah, every single
Every
time.
single time?
So I see at least one Marty McFly
I was going to say,
Yeah.
every time I go to the Red
is the
Fest.
DeLorean there? Kind of out of place for Ren Fest, but
Yes.
all good. How fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah,
All
and-
right, maybe I
enjoy
do
it.
the Blue Ridge Mountain Drive this weekend.
Yeah, but see, that's also the other thing is the Blue Ridge Mountains
That's
are
gonna be
barely
crowded,
dealing with a change. If you're gonna have, it's only Grandfather Mountain that's at its peak. So if you're gonna do that drive up there, go over the bridge. This is the weekend to do it because by next week it's gonna start to next weekend it starts to brown out. But it's at that point that you're starting to see a little bit more color change in parts of the Blue Ridge. Ridge. So what I would do is, personally, if I could plan it out for you, Renfest this Saturday, because
Okay.
that's a guaranteed great day if you can get in. And then Blue Ridge either next weekend or the following weekend.
Okay.
But also don't forget about apple picking, because we're peaking that as
Apple
well.
picking too.
Yeah. So
Oh, boy.
there's
Got a lot
too
going
many.
on.
There's
That's
too many
great.
things.
Fantastic.
If you like to get your fall fix in, you got to start marking your calendar.
Yeah.
now.
Got to do it this
You gotta
start
plan it
this
out.
weekend, first weekend of October. All right, Chris Mulcahy, thanks for bringing us our social
calendar.
Social calendar.
I try,
as
you know.
well as the good weather.
I also have a kid to entertain, so I'm very active in this.
True.
That's
Social
true.
calendar's
Yeah,
back.
get them out. Get all the yayas out.